just let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. Nah, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't gotta say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'ma show you and him. Bet.
In shape. 145.
Yeah.
In shape. You know what I mean? So this is different from a Crawford coming up to 168, but we know his walk around weight is probably 170, 180.
The fight that I couldn't believe, that was too insane and honestly just baffling to think would be a real fight in 2025, reminds you that combat sports are the craziest sports on the planet.
And things got wild at the press conference for the fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. What was supposed to be a normal event to build excitement turned into a big argument. Davis lost his cool when people asked why he picked to fight Paul instead of better-ranked fighters. At the same time, Paul started bringing up Davis's personal problems and made fun of his past, making the situation worse until the hosts had to step in to stop it.
Box, and truly when people run back to this press conference, all the shit talk, all the fun, they're gonna be like, wow, this kid really is doing something monumental in the sport, and he's actually an insane boxer, and I'm gonna show that this guy who's been doing it his whole life has been doing it wrong his whole life.
What'd you say, Tank?
He said he gonna outbox me. Whoop-de-doo.
The one thing, when you have a fight of this magnitude, especially with Jake, because his appeal has been global. For you, Tank, do you think this is one of those fights where now all of a sudden you can show your boxing skills on a global scale to maybe people who weren't interested in boxing? All of a sudden they say, well, who is this guy?
Yeah, it's actually like, you know, now that I'm looking at it now, it's just like, I don't know, probably.
From the very start, the talk between them was anything but friendly. Jake Paul, who's 6 feet 1 inch tall, stood over Gervonta Davis, who's only 5 feet 5 inches. That big height difference became the main thing everyone talked about before the fight. Paul kept using his size and longer reach to brag, saying he would keep Davis away easily because he's bigger and stronger. But Davis, who's a lightweight champion used to fighting shorter guys, said his amazing speed would make the size difference mean nothing once the fight got intense. One of the biggest talking points was just how different their sizes were. A lot of people, including big voices in the media, said the matchup was unfair or even a joke before it even began. Davis, who's an undefeated lightweight champ, is going up against a social media star turned boxer who normally fights in heavier weight classes. The fight is marked as an exhibition, not a real title fight, which only adds more questions about whether it's.
They fought back.
Keith Thurman pointed out something funny: the people who hate on Gervonta Davis are actually helping him. And he's right. The same folks who always criticize Davis's fights are also the ones who never skip watching them. They say he's not that good, but they still show up every time he gets in the ring. Thurman says that even their hate gives Davis more attention and keeps him in the spotlight. Their negativity actually makes him more famous, turning them into unintentional fans. Basically, the harder they try to tear him down, the more they help make him bigger.
We've seen that Jake will kind of bounce in between doing these entertainment fights and then, trying to push toward his goal of ingraining himself in the sport of boxing, and kind of does both of them. So it's kind of a Cesar Chavez, real fighter, maybe past his prime, whatever, but Jake goes and wins that fight pretty easily and then gets a lot of respect, gets a lot of the boxing hardcore love. And you have these talks about him fighting Anthony Joshua, and that was going to get even more respect. More people were like, that's fucking crazy. What are you doing? Myself included. That seemed like a massive risk, but a lot of people were like, okay, fair play. Anthony Joshua, that's a real heavyweight. Jake wants to fight him. He's a psycho, but fair play. And then you announce this one, and it's like, well, that's the same thing people have been saying about Jake for years, so it's a weird spot to be in for him for sure. But I talked about this not being the first choice, and I don't think it was, because Coppinger reports next that talks for Jake Paul to face Anthony Joshua collapsed over network issues. Now, we had all heard the talks, and they were pretty public, from Eddie Hearn, from Jake. Nikisa Badarian, Jake's manager, was over in the UK on, I think, Sky Sports, talking about the fight and saying how it was a real possibility.
Stephen A. Smith strongly spoke out against the growing trend of mismatched exhibition fights, like the one between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. He said Paul felt upset and even disgusted by how uneven the fight was and called it out directly. Smith stressed that Paul needs to face real. He made it clear that if Paul wants real respect, he has to fight top-level boxers who are still active. Smith also had a lot to say after the controversial draw between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach in March. He praised Davis's great record and said there was no reason to doubt him. To Smith, Davis showed true champion behavior by staying calm through the controversy and immediately agreeing to a rematch, proving he's confident and ready to prove himself again at the highest level.
Paul is a professional. At some point in time, I don't give a damn if it's a light heavyweight. Better be a Bivol, a super middleweight, Canelo, Mexican Monster, David Benavidez, somebody that actually has a reputation. The time, like Jake Paul, I respect Jake Paul. I'm just saying, because I like him and because I respect him, I want to see him in the ring. And I don't want to hear, I know his numbers are better, but then he gonna say, I don't need Canelo, Canelo needs me. Well, wait a minute. It ain't just about pop.
Really not happy with Tank. First off, don't watch Tank. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? You support it, then what you doing? You can't not support and support at the same time, right? So you're a boxing purist. Paul show there, because that's all for entertainment. What does it say? For entertainment purposes only, right? It should say like somewhere in the small print of the promotion. For entertainment, don't do this at home, kids. Fine.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. For entertainment purposes only, So, it's money-making purposes only,